Hey friends, this is Alex from Vulture Culture, and today I'm going to be showing you a really useful trick that you can use anytime you're using a limiter. We're going to be linking the threshold and the ceiling values in Reaper so it's automatic, so you can really hear what the limiter is doing. Before we get started, please like this video if you find it helpful and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. So to begin, I want to show you the L2 Ultra Maximizer by Waves. This plugin is probably the most famous limiter there is. It's really maybe the most overused plugin of all time. What I'm going to play for you is the last chorus on my new song Cadaverous. Okay, so as I bring the threshold down, what it's going to do is it's going to compress the peaks and then boost some makeup gain so that it gets, you perceive the material as being louder. So we can hear this. This is probably one of the most important parts of mastering. The ceiling sets what the maximum value that the signal will go as compared to full scale or 0/0, which is, you can't go above that with digital audio without clipping. And so, for instance, a lot of times I don't master anything that's higher than -1 decibel below full scale, because MP3 encoding and stuff like that can actually cause stuff to clip. Anyways, as you bring this down, it gets louder and louder and also more distorted. And there's sort of a sweet spot where you've increased the volume of any program material to where it sounds really good and really competitive versus other material, that it's going to be up against, whether that's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Beatport, the radio, whatever. But there's obviously a point where it gets really distorted. So L2 has a really great feature, and it's this button right here. And if I click on this and drag down, you can see it moves both the threshold and the ceiling at the same time. So if I play this back and do that, you can hear that it's getting, it's compensating the volume. So we're getting, the compression is getting tighter and tighter, but we're not hearing the makeup gain and confusing our ears to making you think it sounds better. As you can hear, it sounds pretty bad right now. Pretty distorted. You can also hear pretty clearly that past a certain point, it gets quieter sounding, actually. Down here, it sounds like very, very quiet. So now this is really useful for really being able to tell, okay, where's that sweet spot? Because as you bring the threshold down and the volume up, the loudness up, it's going to sound better. Loudness is the #1 thing that'll trick your ear. So by bringing the ceiling and the threshold down together, you're able to make a much better judgment call. Now, let's say we're not using this plugin. Let's say we're using Ozone or any other limiter that you might use that doesn't have this. What are we going to do? Because I can't do that here. Now I could, so what I could do is I could bring this down and this together. So I could bring this. But if I want to change stuff, I kind of have to do this game. And it's just not a very good way to compare stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the threshold button, little knob or whatever that is. Then I'm going to hit param up here at the top. Then I'm going to go to parameter modulation MIDI link. Okay. And now I'm going to go link from MIDI effects or MIDI or effects parameter. And I'm going to select the Ozone Maximizer, and I'm going to pick ceiling here. Okay. Now as I move one, this will stick, but as I move this one, here we go, you can see that they move together. And we can really hear how butchered that sounds. But if I were to turn that off for a second, over here, turn that off briefly, and I brought it down. It doesn't sound as bad, right? I mean, you can definitely hear that that's pretty aggressive, but somewhere around there, it sounds pretty good, although I happen to know that that's much further than I would normally push it, and that somewhere maybe, you know, around here is actually where it sounds really good by doing this type of testing. So, and this works in any plugin or whatever you want to use. You could use the same trick in Event Horizon, which comes in Reaper. You could use it in anything else. So it's a really great opportunity to hear what the limiter is doing and not just hearing the loudness that the limiter is bringing onto the song. So I hope you found that helpful. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video.